that Kuminga, going back to his rookie season, there were some legitimate concerns about how much he wanted to apply himself to be. He wanted to be great, but did he want to do all the dirty work behind getting great?
Yeah, he wanted to be great instantly.
Yeah.
But then you have somebody like Andre Iguodala saying, here's how you do it. There's a structure to this, kid, whether you like it or not.
Yes, and so even if Andre is not playing, and he won't be playing for a while, and if the playoffs go long enough for the Warriors, he might return. But at this point, we don't know about that. What we do know is that Andre has been a huge mentor for this guy. And you can see it in the way he's playing the game. He's taking it more seriously. He's being more selective. He's being more patient. And he's just doing, you can see him. Last year, I think he was thinking at times, and now his thoughts come quicker. His movements come quicker. He's flashing to the rim when he's supposed to. He's taking the open three. He's just looking like a guy, he's 20 years old, but he's like a guy who is, only in his second year. He's played, 140 games or whatever it is now. He's got a long way to go to get to where he can get to, but this guy at 20 years old is playing tremendous basketball. And in this game tonight, without him, the Warriors don't win this game.
No, they don't. And when it comes to defending Luka, this is definitely one of the top know your personnel guys in the league. You have to know his tendencies. You have to know which hand he likes to use. He will bait you. He will get to the line. So all of those things in mind, how do you think JK did tonight?
He did okay. I mean, he got baited on the one play, which, that could happen to anybody. Where Luka got in front of him.
Sure.
Luka got in front of him. And Luka kind of, actually, I won't say he bumped back into him, but he kind of sort of did.
I went like that automatically. Yeah,
he kind of.
Contact.
But, JK was like this.
Yeah.
I think he saw it coming, but it was too late to react, to miss.
You do this and the referees see it too.
Yeah. Luka got the call and went to the line.
Luka got a call? Luka doesn't get calls. It's a conspiracy.
He only shot 10 free throws. Only 10 free throws tonight.
Luka,
the Warriors as a team shot 18. But anyway. But I just think in general, when you watch him guard these great players, you can see his competitive instincts. You can see he wants to be the guy that is in the mix there. Some guys will run from those assignments. Jonathan Kuminga, when he sees a great player across from him, he's like, I want that guy. I want that guy. And in Luka's case, tonight, Luka had 30 points, but he had to work his tail off to get that. He had 17 assists, which means to me that they were forcing the ball out of his hands a lot.
Yes.
And making other guys beat you, which when you play the Dallas Mavericks right now without Kyrie, it is the ABL plan. Anybody but Luka.
Okay.
Make somebody else beat you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Warriors did tonight, and JK was a huge part of that.
There you go. Another influencer on defense, Draymond Green.
Woo.
Okay, massive. 4 blocks. And I'm thinking about when Draymond is saying it starts with me. He sees himself as a defensive anchor. We talk about defensive effort or guys making hard closeouts. When you see Draymond doing the things that he's preaching,
yes,
that's where he gets the currency with his teammates. Okay, he was flying across the floor to block a fourth quarter 3. He had 4 blocks in this game, a season high. What did you think about the intensity that he brought to this game?
I mean, Draymond was so intense, he got in foul trouble early.
Yes.
He got 3 fouls and played only 7 minutes in the first half. And one of those fouls was so unlike Draymond. The shot clock was running down.
Yeah.
And Dwight Powell, who can't shoot, was at 25 feet away. He had the ball, and Draymond flies at him and bumps into him. I'm like, let him shoot, And I'm like, that's not a Draymond mistake.
There's almost like a little pump fake involved too.
But it's Dwight Powell, it's like Looney shooting from 3. Go ahead, let him,
Okay.
And so that was his second foul, I think. But I was like, ooh, for Draymond, that was a silly foul.
Yeah.
But he hung in there, finished with 5 fouls. But I thought he was huge. He had 14 points, which, Draymond, he got mixed in some offense. He had, I think, 8 assists. Yeah, 8 assists. But I just thought, the 4 blocks and the 3 steals, that tells you how active he was on defense, because not only is he getting blocks and steals, but the other stuff he does, the organization stuff he does. Steve Kerr talked about the play at the end of the game where Steph got the layup and how Draymond sealed his guy so Steph had a clear path.
Yeah.
It wasn't a straight up screen. It was just a seal the guy who could possibly protect the rim.
Nice lane for
And Steph just goes in and gets the easy layup.
Yeah.
These little things matter when you're trying to win a game. And in this game, Draymond brought it all.
Draymond's play tonight really was an indication to me of how much the Warriors needed this win. You can tell by the degree to which Draymond is locked in. And actually, Draymond just stepped to the podium. Why don't we hear from him?
I was just, once we got the switch, most times people switch to the top side. He switched underneath. And I knew Steph would get by his man, so I just sealed him to give him a lane to the rim, and he took it and got the layup. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean. I thought we were okay. Thought we could have been a lot better. We didn't come up with a lot of 50-50 balls, and then they were able to hit some threes off of getting 50-50 balls. So I think point of attack, we were pretty good, but you got to come up with those balls in order to really solidify your defense. It was a huge win for us. I mean, we need road wins in general, just for confidence. I heard that it was a tiebreaker, so that's good. We'll take it, but 8 more games, we got to make sure we continue to stay strong at home and keep trying to build on the road like we've done the last couple games. I thought we stayed poised. We got the shots that we wanted to get. I feel like every possession down the stretch, we got shots that we wanted to get. And, that's key because then you're able to set your defense, and it's not scramble back every time and teams getting off in transition. So I thought that was big. Our offense helped our defense down the stretch. He was huge. He's been playing great, though. He's been playing great for a few months. He's turned the corner. And so just for him to continue to build the confidence like he's been doing has been great. He's defending using his God-given abilities and then taking on that role. It's huge, and it's helped us a lot. Survive in advance, baby. You get the first one of the weekend. Coaches are going to get us the second one. So looking forward to it. All right, guys.
All right, survive in advance. That's feeling like playoff talk, Monte.
Yeah, if he's talking about the Warriors, yeah. But I got a feeling he's talking about his Michigan State Spartans.
Yes.
Because they are in the Sweet 16, and he always calls Thomas on Mr. March. And they've already gotten further than they're supposed to.
Okay.
So,
okay.
You know how Draymond is with those Spartans. He's all over that. So,
yeah, their first time in the Sweet 16 since 2019, I read. Although I imagine if you're following who the Warriors players cheer for, like Arizona, for example, lots of brackets busted.
Yeah, Steve Kerr was not a happy guy.
No, he wasn't. All right, so when we come back, let's talk a little Jordan Poole and some very interesting comments from Kerr pregame about Wiggins and GP2. We'll be right back.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. FitAid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
They had 7 turnovers, rather. They had 6 turnovers in the first quarter and 7 the rest of the game. Yeah. They fixed that up.
Hey, everybody in the YouTube, thank you for joining us. There is a collection of missed calls that fans noticed that didn't go the Warriors' way in here. So I know we can add up all sorts of things. Rebel is mentioning the foul call on Dante when Hardy slipped and fell. That was bad. Yeah. I can't read all of these, but yes, I understand the frustration, guys.
There were a number of calls that just didn't get made. And it's like guys get knocked down and there's no call.
Yeah, I mean, in a 2-point game, and when you see that the Mavs got 10 more shots from the line than the Warriors did, when you see, when we're talking about how often the Warriors are attacking in the paint, and Steph had 0 free throws tonight, I understand.
Yeah.
Understand some
and
of the
Steph
frustration.
had a tremendous game, 20 and 13, 20 points, 13 assists. So, but not a single free throw, and he got knocked around as usual. As usual. He doesn't get a good whistle, which is, for a guy of his status, you would think that he would get some of what Luka gets.
No, not the case. Nima says, love from Bhutan. Great game.
Oh.
Wow, what time is it there? Thank you for watching. We
Really?
appreciate you. Thank you to all the names that we see in here in the chat. It's the usual, folks. Okay. All right, for the folks watching, we just found out that Steph sat down to the podium, so we'll get to that sound quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The old man.
Somebody says my bracket got busted by Arizona and Kansas. Oh, yeah. Fairleigh Dickinson. Good for them. All righty.
JK, 22 points on 11 shots.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. All right, we were talking about the bench contributing more than 50 points in this game for the second game out of 3. Let's mention Jordan Poole's role in this because he also reached 4,000 points in his career. He is a 4th season player. Remember earlier this season, he was the youngest Warrior in franchise history to notch 400 threes. What I want to point out in this game is fans like to roast Jordan for his turnovers. 0 in this game to go with 6 assists.
Yeah.
What do you think of his game?
I thought Jordan, the last game, he didn't score, but he had 8 assists.
Yes.
So he was some brilliant playmaking. I thought tonight he found a nice blend. He got his scoring in, 16 points, 6 assists, no turnovers. This was one of the cleaner games he's played this season in terms of just efficiency and not just doing for himself, but doing for his teammates. This is the kind of game you kind of would want to expect Jordan can deliver on a fairly consistent basis, shooting, scoring 15, 18, 20 points, playing, what did he play? He played 26 minutes. And also, get 5, 6, or 7 assists.
Yeah.
8, like he did last game.
Yeah.
And tonight, that's what you want to get from him.
Sometimes he needs to have a scoring burst. Sometimes he needs to be the facilitator. He works that out from game to game, reading the game. There's one thing we need to speed through it because we just got word that Steph Curry is at the podium. But Kerr pregame said, we're hopeful to get Wiggs and GP2 back. It made me feel nice to hear the word Wiggs and hope in the same sentence.
Yes.
He said those were key players in the championship. We're short defensively, literally, and figuratively. What did you think when you heard that?
Well, I thought, first of all, that they've been short for most of the season. And by most NBA standards, they were short last season when they won a championship. They didn't have any 7-footers going out there.
Nope.
You had Loon at 6'9". You had Otto Porter at 6'8". You had, Belly played at 6'9", but he was playing 8 to 10 minutes a night. So they didn't have a lot of impact size, but they found a way because the intellect, and then once they got to the postseason last year, they understand how that schedule works for them.
Sure.
They're a veteran team. They know in the postseason that they get days off.
Yeah.
And they also know how to schedule it, and they know how to navigate that terrain.
Okay.
It's like their playground. And for other teams, like the teams they played last year, the Dallases and the Denvers and those teams, they get to the postseason, but the Warriors feel like they belong there. And when you see them play the other teams, you can sense that, okay, this is our turf. We know what we're doing. You guys are trying to figure out what to do. We already know.
Yeah.
You see that.
There you go. All right, so just hope for Wiggins right now, no ETA, and now that the Warriors will be on their way back home, a GP2 update could come as early as tomorrow. All right, so Steph Curry at the podium. Let's take a listen.
I had a clear lane once I got past Cleaver, and Draymond's so smart, how teams defend us. They're going to try to crowd the paint and show bodies, and especially like me, Clay, JP don't want to come off our body, so there's a lot of help, and he got to the right position. Kind of made eye contact once I kind of turned the corner because you're trying to see the floor, see what your options are, and once he's looking at me and I can see his body language, is like, come on, I'm gonna seal it, and just a smart play. And the timing was perfect, and I got to the finish. I mean, we know the standings and the tiebreaker stuff and all that, and that's important, but it's more just a good reminder of what it takes to win against a team that you're chasing or stacked up against in the standings, and like a playoff type atmosphere that can go a possession here, a possession there. And even if it's not pretty, you feel like you could play better, you just find a way to win. And that's what the playoffs is all about. So it reminds us what it takes to do that. And our whole goal of these last, 8 games now is to just build on that. And we keep talking about like forming an identity as we head towards the postseason. all that stuff matters. I mean, I was down there. I was on the bench, I think, and saw the ref point our direction for the ball, and then there's a point the other way towards their bench to call a timeout. Loon actually got a little confused at first because, he didn't hear the whistle for the timeout. But after that, it was pretty clear it was our ball, and nobody from their side went down to get it because it was, whatever it was. And probably the easiest 2 points Loon's ever had and the easiest assist JP's ever had. But it was weird, but it was clear what was going on from our standpoint. We knew him and Christian were X factors, for their team. And if they get going, they're tough to beat because you know what Luka's going to do. He has the ball in his hands, the whole game, and he requires a lot of attention. And as a secondary scorer, Jaden was really efficient. Made some big shots, a couple threes in the fourth quarter, but obviously did it the whole game. So he's talented. He can score. He's kind of fearless out there. He had a great game. I mean, for the most part, we put him on the free throw line too much in the first half. But Luka's interesting. He's going to get his numbers because he's good, first and foremost. But they have a team kind of formed around him that gives him a lot of space, and he's great at picking and choosing his spots, whether he's looking for a shot or putting pressure on you in the paint to kick out to shooters. And, they made 17 threes off of a lot of his gravity. So you got to live with some of that stuff, and you got to live with him having big numbers because, again, he's that great and he has a lot of opportunity. But at the end of the day, kind of the first question is just about how can you get to the last possession where you have, a chance to win, and kind of how it goes.
20 plus also guarded.
I mean, he's showing his ability as a two-way guy, being comfortable out there, taking on the challenge defensively and also finding his spots offensively, cutting, using his athleticism. He knocked down 2 threes in the first half, I think. So just to know he's just getting more comfortable as time goes on with what we're asking him to do defensively and him finding his sweet spots in our system. I hope he's having fun doing it as well because it's obviously showing up in the stat sheet and helping us win, but it's also, that eye test that he looks comfortable out there. So that means a lot.
Nice to listen to Steph. And he called somebody fearless. I actually thought he was talking about JK, but it was Jaden Hardy, the Mavs rookie, who took the G League route instead of going the college route right out of high school. He said, all right, I'm going to go with the G League. And I noticed he gave a huge hug to Jonathan Kuminga after the game. So two very impressive guys who chose that path.
Young kids, both of these guys have huge futures. We saw what they can do. Jaden is fearless, like Steph said.
Yeah.
But JK is a two-way player right now already, and he's only going to get better at that. I think he wants to be great. So therefore, if he already realizes that he's starting to realize his potential. Before he thought he was good already, I think he's starting to say, okay, as I come along and develop, I'm getting better and better and better, and the results are showing.
Okay. All right, when we come back on Dubstock Live, we're going to take a look at the standings, the schedule. I'm a visual learner. I need to see it, okay? There are 8 games left. Let's see where everything stands. We'll be right back.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. Fit Aid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
Otis and D, eyes peeled. Salvador is asking, can the Warriors cut Iggy and sign a big man for the playoffs? No, they cannot.
They didn't do it last year.
No, they cannot. So there will be no unceremonious cutting of Andre Iguodala. He's meant way too much to this organization for them to just dump him.
No. And they are
It's
still
never
hopeful that
going-
he'd have a chance to come back.
Yeah,
You know,
that will never happen.
Yeah, if they were able to play into the second round, there would be a chance that he could come back, and I think that's what they're hoping for. So,
Yeah.
you know, if Andre has a chance to play, you want him to be available for you to do that.
Yeah. Pablo says, hello from Qatar. Feel good win. You guys are watching.
Qatar.
Half a world away.
Man.
Good for you. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hey, and listen,
That's a real Warriors fan there.
I understand the Iguodala question, but there's also the emotional component of he's won 4 rings with this team.
Yeah,
Okay? He's a finals MVP. He deserves a ceremony when he retires.
Right.
They're not just going to boot him out the door.
If they were to cut Andre, Steph, and Clay, and Draymond, would be looking like
Mutiny, folks.
Yeah, what are we doing here? What
Yeah.
all the stuff? No, you can't. You don't do that.
Emotionally, that will never, ever, ever happen. Yeah, ever, ever happen. We have some Kings fans in here. Hey, you know what? If the playoffs started today, you know what it would be? The 3-6 matchup. Let's
Warriors,
take a look at that.
Kings,
Yeah. What do we-
Warriors,
what do
Kings.
we
I'm
see
telling
on the
you,
standings?
the Warriors could be looking at the Kings or the Grizzlies. Either way, it's going to be like, woo, boy.
God. For a first round, that's
Woo.
heads will explode.
Woo.
Heads will explode. Gosh, I remember the Grizzlies on social media, their fan base, like that component last season during the playoffs was a wild thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Ay, ay, ay. Welcome back. 8 games left. Let's take a look at which one are we doing first, standings or schedule? All right, standings, because the Warriors. Wait, which one? Just put it on the screen, my guy. Which one? Okay, all right. So they wrapped up their 5-game road trip. They're 2-3. Now they have 4 at home. Okay. The Sixers. The news coming out of the Sixers is Joel Embiid didn't play in the second half. The reports are he's got a right calf soreness, but everybody's saying he is expected to play Friday. Okay, TBD. Here's what we're doing. All right, Golden State sitting in 6th right now. Minnesota is coming up during this homestand. Oklahoma City moving up. There's all sorts of interesting things. The Clippers just lost PG for a while. I mean, with 8 games left, there's so much that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are at 6 now. I mean, I know 2 weeks ago they were talking about let's get to the 4th spot. That's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
But 5 or 6, you can get that. And it's about winning the rest of the games, not all of them, but if you can go 5-3 or 6-2, you're in great shape.
Okay, all right, 8 games left, only 3 left on the road. They do conclude the season on the road. One of those games is against the Kings. Ooh.
And one was against Portland, which is kind of going nowhere.
Okay, still a game against the Spurs too. So, okay, all right, let's see if the Warriors can get more W's. Thanks for watching. I mean, I don't want to oversimplify things, but I look at the Pelicans, the Spurs, the Blazers, the Timberwolves, maybe, probably. Karl Anthony Towns is back. He had the game-winning free throws tonight. But when he misses 50 games with his injury, maybe there might be some trouble of getting him back into and what the Timberwolves are trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors, of their 8 games, 3 of those games are against teams that are in that bloated middle. You know, Minnesota, New Orleans, and there's Minnesota, New Orleans, and Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 teams they got to play that are right there with them. Then you have the Spurs and the Trailblazers who aren't going anywhere. Okay. Then you have 2 teams, Denver and Sacramento, that they have to play that are ahead of them.
Yeah.
And both of those games are
away. Yeah, away.
Yes.
That's very difficult.
Yeah.
That'll be tough.
If you could just split those 2 games,
Sure.
you take it. If you take care of your business and you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, meaning the Spurs and the Blazers, that's 3 wins right there. And then you win the 3 games that against teams that are right there with you. You're 6-2. So it really is up to the Warriors. They can actually lose to either Denver or Sacramento and to Philadelphia, and still find a way to get to 6 wins, which will put them at 44, which I think will be enough to get them in the top 6.
Okay. One thing I'm looking forward to is end of season Warriors. against end of season Kings. Okay, right as these teams are heading into the postseason. That game is April 7th. If you're lucky enough to have tickets for that game
Woo,
at
boy.
Golden One,
Yeah, boy.
let us know how that one is. All right, we've got a podcast to do, so we will say goodbye right now. More extended thoughts coming up on the pod. We'll see you later.